These are my audience members. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are my note cards. I have 17 note cards. And here we go. Hello and welcome. According to the book, The Fundamentals of Abnormal Psychology, surveys indicate that between 8 and 29% of all children and adolescents display some sort of anxiety disorder, and around 2/3 of anxious children go untreated. When I took abnormal psychology last semester, I found this information very interesting. It seems to me that more children should be getting the help they need for having an anxiety disorder. In this speech, I will tell you about childhood anxiety disorder and some of the treatments for it. Anxiety is, to some extent, a normal part of childhood. Since children have had fewer experiences than adults, their world is often new and scary. They may be frightened by common events, such as the beginning of school, or by special upsets, such as moving to a new house or becoming seriously ill. Also, each generation of children is confronted by new sources of anxiety. For example, today's children are repeatedly worried, both at home and at school, about the dangers of internet surfing and networking, child abduction, drugs, and terrorism. Children may also be affected greatly by parental problems or inadequacies. If, for example, parents typically react to events with high levels of anxiety or overprotect their children, the children may be likely to respond to the world with anxiety. Similarly, if parents repeatedly reject, disappoint, or avoid their children, the world may seem an unpleasant or anxious place for them. There is also some genetic evidence that some children are prone to an anxious temperament. For some children, when anxieties become long-lasting and overwhelming, they may be suffering from an anxiety disorder. You might be thinking, what do the anxiety disorders of young children look like? Well, typically they are dominated by behavioral and somatic symptoms rather than cognitive ones, which include clinging, sleep difficulties, and stomach pains. They tend to center on specific, sometimes imaginary objects or events, such as monsters or thunderstorms, and they are more often than not triggered by current events and situations. Separation anxiety disorder is one of the most common childhood anxiety disorders. It can begin as soon as the preschool years and is displayed by 4 to 10% of all children. The children that suffer from this disorder feel extreme anxiety, often panic, whenever they are separated from home or from a parent. Sometimes they have great trouble traveling away from their family, and they often refuse to visit friends' houses, go on errands, or attend camp or school. Some also have temper tantrums, cry, or plead to keep their parents from leaving them. The children may fear that they will get lost when separated from their parents, or that the parents will be in an accident or get in serious illness. As long as the children are near their parents and not threatened by separation, they may function normally. For the 1/3 of anxious children who get treatment, cognitive behavioral therapy has had the most success. Clinicians have also used drug therapy in a number of cases. Drug therapy for children anxiety appears to be helpful. Because children typically have difficulty recognizing and understanding their feelings and emotions, many therapists use play therapy as part of treatment. In play therapy, the children play with toys, draw, and make up stories while revealing the conflicts in their lives and their related feelings. The therapists then introduce more play and fantasy to help the children work through the conflicts and change their emotions and behavior. Thank you.
Very interesting.
And everyone stayed.